That's my brother.
Hello.
How you doing? Right.
I'm always
He wrote the checks.
I've got to congratulate you. I heard you got the audience award at the Thessaloniki Film Festival, and you hadn't even entered, so that must have been a nice surprise.
It was a real honour, because the name of the award was the Michael Gagoyanis Award for Audience Award. And Michael Gagoyanis, as you know, was the director of Zorba the Greek. He was also a Cypriot who lived in London, trained as a lawyer in London. So, and he died, Gagoyanis, just like a week before we started filming Papadopoulos Sons. Lots of people have picked up on Papadopoulos Sons being a kind of modern interpretation of Zorba the Greek. To win that award was really good.
And I read that your film was also screened at the Palm Springs Film Festival in California.
Yeah.
On a scale of 1 to 5, with 5 being the best, it got a top rating among 75% of the audience. And yet, it was difficult to distribute in the UK. Why was that?
Nobody thinks it's commercial in the UK, and it's not the distributor's fault. The distributors in Britain have a really difficult job. They are trying to find films that can sell quickly to audiences. What the British film business here does, it effectively takes the best American Cineplex films and brings them back. So for a small British independent film, the route to Britain, ironically, is through America. If you get your deal in America, it becomes very easy to get your deal in the UK. We didn't have a deal in America. It's very difficult for a British independent film to get picked up by a British distributor, because the pressure on British distributors is to effectively find a film that they can quickly and easily sell. So no one was willing to take a risk on Papadopoulos Sons, and I can understand why, actually. Therefore, it forced me to do my own distribution in the UK. And it's been very successful. This is Wednesday. We released the film on Friday. It grossed £40,000 in its opening weekend from a dozen cinemas. That's unheard of. Its kind of screen average is like between £3,000 and £4,000 per screen so far. It's double what you would expect on films like G.I. Joe currently, or Oblivion. So we're doing really great business, because we've just gone for a kind of word of mouth campaign using social media and using also traditional established organisations like the Greek Orthodox Church, like the Hellenic Centre in London, the Greek Community Centre in Birmingham, London Greek Radio. There's a Greek newspaper in London called Parigiaki. They've become supporters of it.
Did you expect your audience to be mostly the Greek community?
No, it's a universal film, because it was very successful in Dinard Film Festival. It was very popular with French audiences. I've seen it. It was an audience favourite at Palm Springs. It's a universal family tale. It's a fairy tale. It's a modern fairy tale, and therefore lots of people can relate to it. If anything, it's upset some Greeks because they don't feel it's Greek enough. Some of them were really expecting a Greek film, and I haven't. I've told a universal family story about a family that happens to be Greek, and just a minority. That's all of criticism is from certain Greeks that wanted it maybe to be more Greek. The Greek Cypriot community is embedded deeply in British society. We've been here since the 50s and 60s. That was when the big migration came. Cyprus used to be a British colony. The true test this week is whether that can happen. I've done my bit. I've got Greeks to know about it. They're coming to support the film. Does it break out beyond Greeks? Only time will tell.
Well, I read on your blog that sometimes by having a big name, like you mentioned Justin Bieber, people would want to see that as only the Justin Bieber movie and not necessarily
the film.
Yeah, the film. And would you be open to taking that risk for the exposure?
In an ideal world, I'd have made this film, and Fox Searchlight or Lionsgate would have said, "Oh, we love your film. It's beautiful. We're going to put it in 100 screens. Here's a minimum guarantee. Sit back, Marcus. Give us your baby. We'll look after it and make it a success." But that never happened. I was forced to carry on the spirit of independence. I made this film outside the system. I didn't have any pre-sales. I financed it myself. I've written it. I've directed it. I had a say on most aspects of the production. I designed the poster, the website, the Facebook page. I run the Twitter. It makes sense for me to also do the distribution because the experience I've had currently has been so rewarding and positive. I'd be quite frightened to do anything different. And, I'm thinking, at this moment in time, I don't even know if I'm going to make another film. I've got to write a script that I really believe in. I wrote that film to challenge my views on what I really believed in terms of what was success, what is success. And as a way as well for reaching back to my Hellenic roots that had been lost, because I'm challenging myself as a human being, and I'm making myself laugh, and I'm making myself cry, and that if you can do that, then there's a chance that audiences are going to respond the same way. I don't know now, sitting here, whether at this moment in time I've got another story. I don't. It's like I would have to take a good year off, be a normal human being again.
I was interested in the influences you mentioned, such as Little Miss Sunshine, which is not easily a forgettable film.
No. Little Miss Sunshine is a huge influence. Mm-hmm. And in fact, instead of them travelling in a van, they travel in the chip shop. And it is a dysfunctional family that comes together in a journey. And I love that whole story. So there are lots of similarities that I only afterwards went, maybe Little Miss Sunshine was a much bigger influence on me. They both end on a dance, because I was very conscious of Zorba the Greek ending on a dance. There's lots of Shakespeare plays that end on a dance. You feel that the dance symbolises unity, and it symbolises order from chaos.
How was it coordinating this traditional Greek dance?
Well, we didn't want to make it exactly right, Greek dance. We wanted it to be a bit wrong, because there's a Turkish family dancing, there's a Greek Cypriot family who've lost their Greek roots. The children are half English and half Greek. There's an English nanny. It's a mishmash. Therefore, the Greek dance that they do has to reflect that mishmash.
What was the process like, casting such a central character?
We wanted one of the brothers, preferably Spiros, to be a real Greek. There's, in my opinion, one great Greek actor living today that had his name on it, and that was George Korofas. So we were relentless in pursuing George. We briefly considered Hank Azaria, because he was Greek. I thought, could he do the English accent? Probably, and we tried to find a way to get to him, but we couldn't. The casting director suggested Stephen Dillane. I didn't even think of Stephen Dillane. And I thought, oh, that's brilliant. He's a great actor. But instantly I thought, but he's too English. Maybe he's too English. Just like, but then he's a great actor. Stephen Dillane might be available. They're still trying to organise his starting dates for Game of Thrones. In the meantime, I'm doing my research on Stephen, and I'm obsessively looking at clips of him and getting excited. And in the process, I saw he had a son, Frank Dillane, and his picture was like jumped out at me and went, "Wow, he just looks Greek." I said to the casting director, "He's still at RADA. He's only done one part, Harry Potter." He came in, and I just straight away went, "That is James Papadopoulos." He had a real sense of vulnerability, and But then Stephen, I think, got excited about working with his son. And it comes across on screen. They both brought a really lovely atmosphere to the set. It was family friendly. It had a family work ethic to it. We're a small business, a family-run business. My brother and I are producing it. I've written and directed it.
Was there ever a moment of panic? Because as a first-time director, there are moments where you don't know something.
And strangely not. Day 2 I was a bit shaky because we had the London riots. We stopped shooting and I thought that was game over. I thought, that's it. If we lose another day or 2 days, we won't physically be able to catch up in the schedule. But thankfully, we caught up. We caught up on the day we lost. We recut 2 scenes and that seemed to just work.
Ed Stoppard, who plays Rob, told me that there wasn't a big gap between the bottom and the top of the pyramid, that there was a lot of camaraderie.
Yeah, no pyramid. Day 1, I tried to know everybody's name on set. The electricians, the carpenters. These are professionals who have many years experience in making films and they need to be treated with the utmost respect. I'm essentially serving them as much as they are serving me. Because I started out as an actor. And I was always aware of a pyramid on sets. There was this weird, bizarre, unwritten rule that the stars go to the front, the big stars get their meals taken to their vans. On day 1, I just queued behind everybody else that was forming a queue. Day 1, I'm lunch, I'm not going to go to the front. How embarrassing is that?
Yeah.
So I queued, and the third assistant director, who's lovely, kept on calling me sir. I said, please stop calling me sir.
Really?
Yeah, it's really uncomfortable. He said, sir, you can go in the front. I said, I'm not going in the front. Everybody just started queuing behind me, and that sets a tone of democracy on set. I want to make small films with no budget, where the actors are working for me because it's not to do with money.
I noticed Harry's situation hits really close to home for a lot of people because of the downturn in the economy, and especially with the banking crisis in Cyprus.
Yes.
Of course, you can't plan for
No, I didn't
a stock
plan.
market crash, but did you have those in mind when you wrote the script?
No, I had a sneaky feeling that we weren't out of the mess. We're in a debt crisis. And so, even when I was writing this script, I knew we weren't out of the mess. So when the banks collapsed a week before we released the film in the UK, in Cyprus, it wasn't really a shock or a surprise. The way they have tried to deal with it has been a shock.
In the film, Harry co-owns the Three Brothers fish and chip shop with his brother Spiros, and in real life you co-founded the online media group Dynamis with your own brother. So was this partly an inspiration?
I love brothers' stories. I mean, you can't fail. It's about brothers. Straight away you're like, okay, there's going to be fireworks, there's going to be tension. When you've got family up there on the screen, I don't have to work so hard to emotionally engage people. It's because we're all part of a family.
A big theme in this film is success, and how would you define success?
So success is the human relationships you have with your family, with your friends, with strangers, with people that work in the shop, with people the man that drives your cab. It's kind of success is the strength of your human relationships with your fellow human being. That is the measure of success for me.